Hello students, welcome to the e-learning center of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, approved by AICTE, Government of India, affiliated under Maharishi Dayananda University, Rohtak. I am Ms. Pritishri Patnaik, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the learning in artificial intelligence. This video lecture is going to be fruitful for the students of BTech Computer Science as well as BCA students. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about learning, types of learning, supervised, unsupervised learning, various methods of learning, and frequently important questions that are asked with university examinations. Now, when the term comes to mind, let's begin with our topic. Let's say, what is learning? When to a layman, the learning is a process by which a human being is acquiring any kind of information from the real world. Let's say learning is the phase that is a never-ending process. We human beings start learning since from the childhood till the time we are surviving. In every phase of learning, we try to acquire as many as information that we can gather up. And this learning phase is mostly dependable by acquiring different kind of knowledge, fact from the real world. Same incomparable to the sense of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence or the intelligent system body is to be constructed by the human being only. Now, learning is the parameter is most important in order to make the system more intelligent. So, different scientists has given different their strategy or the definition for learning. According to Herbert Simon, he said that learning denotes change in the system that is enabled to make the system work more efficiently. Another author, Somel, he said that machine learning is the subfield of computer science that gives the computer the ability to learn without an explicitly programs that is executed. Another scientist, Mitchell, he proposed that a computer program is to be learned with an experience with respect to the class or the task that is executed under the performance of pressure. If the performance of the task is measured with a parameter and the experience, then only we could evaluate how the intelligent system is undergoing with the process of learning. See, various kind of algorithm are still underdeveloped with the phases of learning that is implemented to today's intelligent system or the machine learning part. Beside this, machine learning includes the agent's perspective, including all the improvement that are in the field of data science. Let's say in the previous lecture we come across with the NLP part, that is the natural language processing. If the intelligent system is able to understand the human language and interpret and work accordingly, same way after implementing the languages to the system, a machine can learn different. A machine is able to learn the knowledge that is to be acquired to our realistic world. Let's say a machine is able to learn and while executing various type of algorithm and automation task is also executed, and finally when the desirable output matches with the human vision, then the machine is able to give a fruitful result what we are been expecting. In the contradictory, the procedure of machine learning, let's say the input to the learning algorithm is the training dataset. Actually, the training dataset is been represented and experienced to various kind of algorithm, and the output is been expertise, which is usually in the form of algorithm, and the output that we require, the output that is observed in a various type of pattern analysis or various type of output that has been done with the data analysis part. The input data that is given to the machine learning to a system that can be in a numerical or textual or audio or visual or multimedia type of data set, corresponding to the output that can be obtained, that can be in the form of data analysis pattern or the pattern analysis that is usually done through graphical part. And let's say the output that we recover that can be classified into different categories also. Now, in next part that we come with the topic that what are the concepts that are mostly used in learning strategy. Learning is the process of converting the experience into expertise or the knowledgeable part. Now, learning, when we say it is to be experience and expertise, then it must undergo with different types of taxonomy or the classification part. learning can be broadly classified into three categories as mentioned below: supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised part. Now let's come to the supervised learning. What is a supervised learning? When the term we are hearing is supervised learning, hota kya hai? The term that is supervised, the term itself is saying that supervised in the sense it has been guided by a person, or let's say supervised learning in some book you काफी सारे students acquire करते हैं. In some book it is also written that learning with the help of a teacher. Supervised learning is mostly common method that is used in real-time application, such as face recognition, speech recognition, product and movie recommendation, sales forecasting. Supervised learning is the part by which learning can be equipped with through a machine or intelligent system by gathering the information or the label sample data, and that is further given down to implement those trained data that are having input and output, applying various kind of algorithm, let's say Navy algorithms and Navy algorithm or classification algorithms, and then the algorithm model is been applicable to a model based or a knowledge based, and finally the output has been collected. Mostly the students should keep in mind supervised algorithm or supervised learning method is being done with the help of a teacher. Now supervised learning is also further divided into two categories, that is regression or the classification. When we say the term regression, it trains and predicts the continuously change in behavior response of a knowledge based system. For example, let's say predicting the real estate prices, that is the regression policy only. Now continuously evaluatory process per day basis it has been going out to find out which product price has been increasing or decreasing, what is the risk analysis process has been going on. Now when comes the word classification in the sense very common. When we classify something, we are classifying an object with a basis of color, with a basis of size. So what we studied since our childhood, classification attempts to find out the appropriate class level, such as analyzing positive negative sentiments, male female person, then identifying different types of diseases that occurs in human being, tumor size, and secure and unsecure platform, that when any loan has been issued by the bankers. What is the method that we used? In supervised learning method, the learning data comes with a description level where the target and the desired output of the object find with a general rule that is mapped into input to the output strategy. This kind of learning data is called as the label data. The learning rule that is used to make a unknown data into a new data, that is a part. Supervised learning involves building like when we take an example, let's say supervised learning methods are mostly used in classifying the emails into spam and not spam, categorizing, labeling web pages, and voice recognition. Also supervised learning deals with learning the function availability with the training of data. Here a learning algorithm is mostly applicable. Let's see in the diagram below. In this diagram, we to the left side we have the input raw data. The input raw data is having a mixture of many kind of data. Different categories of data is taken down initially, that we labeled, we named it as a label data, and this label data is been further given down with different kinds of algorithms that are implemented during the supervised learning method. Let's say Navy classified algorithm. This supervised learning method in recent technology is used by the exit poll calculation. Like whenever there is a election poll occurs, this learning method strategy is also used there by the news channel. They collect the data from all the population of their views of who the party is going to win or lose. They make different strategies. Same way, the algorithm that we used here is the naive-Bayes classifier. The naive-Bayes classifier, what will it will be doing? It will be taking down the input and it undergo with the training of this raw data, and after that after the execution of the algorithm, now we get the processed data. After the processed data, the classifier After the regression, let's say after the regression the processing has been occurred. Now after the processing we could be easily classify this data set. Let's say in this particular diagram we have the data that are been predicting in different colors. One color that is in red, one is in green, and one is in purple. Now the data set that are in a mixture, when we make it a classified manner, let's say we able to observe some kind of data or the label output that comes in the category of red, that comes in the category of blue, that comes in the category of purple. Now this is the method of supervised learning. Coming up next, what is the unsupervised learning? As we compare the supervised and unsupervised, we could able to know that supervised learning is done with the help of a teacher, where the output is already previously known to the input data. These are the pattern where the output has to be represented. Now when we say unsupervised, here there is no supervised or there is no support of any teacher. The output is unknown to us. The unsupervised data is mostly applicable in the field of data mining, where the extraction of hidden data has been carried out with the help of a clustering technique and through the process of knowledge development. Now in case of unsupervised data, the output analysis is not known to us previously, but it can be analyzed through various kind of algorithm or through the clustering technique actually. Let's see the definition. Unsupervised learning is used to detect the anomalies, outliers such as fraud detection, detective equipments, customers' behavior, and customer behavior and etc. When learning data contains some indicator with any description, label, and the code of the algorithm is been structured out with the underlying data to discover the hidden pattern. Now in order to discover the hidden pattern only, we are supervising the data. Let's say we are currently been in the field of big data. The current whole world has been moving ahead with the big data. Now to expect what is the actual data that are coming with recent 2020 or 2020-50, that is the unexpected one. We never know how the data part is going to be increased, what all hidden layers are been there, how the data scientists have been working every day to analyze what will the future expect of this big data in 2020-50. So mostly supervised algorithm is used in data analysis as well in the field of data mining. This supervised learning method includes the platform of clustering technique, including the algorithm like k-means, random forest, hierarchical clustering, and etc. When we say k-means clustering, the algorithm will be applicable to identify the data set by keeping or making the different cluster to that. Let's say this is the process example or the diagram that's showing the unsupervised learning method. The input raw data is taken, the output pattern is already, it's not known to us, that is unknown, and the training data set is not having any labeled part. Through the interpretation, this data is went with the different learning algorithm. After that, the clustering techniques is applied, and finally we are getting the desirable result in a different pattern analysis. Now the next part, what is the semi-supervised learning method? Now as it is saying that semi-supervised, the semi-supervised in the sense supervised algorithm, it is having can be conducted with the help of a teacher. Now what is semi? When we say it is a semi, it will be this learning method includes both like unlabeled data for the training as well as labeled data for the testing part. When we consider the unlabeled data, that is a part of our unsupervised method, and we will making that labeled data into a testing purpose. Before releasing a result, we will be execute more than one clustering algorithm to evaluate the case, and finally we could be make it in a easy manner. Now next part is that what is the reinforcement learning. In case of reinforcement learning, this is a part where the learning algorithm can be evaluated by taking different kind of feedbacks from the same intelligent system body. Let's say we have an agent, it takes action or activity within an environment where the state has been changed. When we perform certain tasks or the action is take place with the help of the environment, the state of is going to change. When we able to maintain that state, we are also providing a reward to that. Yes, that state is visible to us. In some time when the state is not visible to us, then it will be saying that This is not a good reward to us. Let's say by the definition, learning data gives feedback so that the system adjusts the dynamic condition in order to achieve the certain objective. The system evaluates the performance of a system through a self-driving techniques, and continuously in the reinforcement system, maybe the learning that has been done in first stage may be not up to the 100%, but it may be to 40 or 50%. When again the action is take place, again a feedback is considered. Once again, at that time, the learning method may be more supervised, more in an advanced way, where the output comes under with 60 to 70%. So reinforcements, in the sense, step by step, the repetition of the process will be continued with the environmental part, and the output is considered with the age. In next content, let's say why the learning method is necessary for a machine learning part, or why do the machine learning is important nowadays. A machine is need to be learned from the human behavior, then only it is going to be a effective, intelligent, knowledge based system. Machine learning plays an important role in providing and understanding the efficiency of a human being. When a machine is able to undergo with the process of NLP, then definitely it has to learn also. Whenever the machine is able to learn the things, then only it is going to work more efficiently. Machine learning is the mostly is used to discover the new things that is not known by any human being. There are different purposes that comes to the mind as we come across with the field of science. Machine learning shares common concepts are discipline, statistics, information theory, game theory, optimization technique, various things that comes to mind with the platform of machine learning. Now let's say as we come across, there are the different types of learning in supervised or unsupervised, reinforcement, semi-supervised. Now how the methods of learning can be done? When we say what are the different methods of learning, various forms of learning can be various methods that we will be discussing now. The first method that comes with the basic part of rote learning, let's say. Rote learning is nothing but it is in a type by learning occurs through memorizing. Since our childhood, we know when our teachers in a classroom say that get by head this tables, or when we learn the poem, we used to repeat the poem or recite the poem as many as time during our school days to remember it. Learning this technique is mostly focused on memorizing by avoiding the inner complexity of the learning strategies, and to recall in the sense the memory part which will be store the information to that will be help to the intelligence system or the knowledge based system that will be developed. Now the next part, how the learning can be done with the inductive learning method. Now the inductive learning is done with the learning with the help of an example. Let's say this is mostly a supervised learning. This learning method is used with the supervised learning method, like which is done with the help of the teacher. In this learning process, a generalized rule is introduced to the system so that it is going to observe the every instance of learning. The teacher keep on monitoring us that how we have been developing, or how the knowledge has been developed to us. However, the class definition can be constructed with the help of a classification method. There are different types of classifiers are also there. Mathematically classification rules are also there. So let's say in the graph which is shown below, consider a function that is a target function. We are having in a pair of examples x and f of x, where x is the input and f of x is the desired output that is applicable to the x. Now when we do a hypothetical study also, that whether the hypothetical function h is belonging to f or not. So in the below figure, let's say when we have an example y is equal to mx plus c, that is the linear axis, and when x is the part we taking as a constant in a 2D graph, this x and y is being plotted and y is equal to f of x. Okay, now the term when x is been increasing slowly, y is also been increasing. That is a part. And when we come across with the with this and we plot a graph, we come that whenever there will be the interval of x is increasing, simultaneously the value of y is also increasing, and this is working in a linear part. Now this is a piece where we are taking in a hyperfunction. Hyperfunction is the part piece-based linear graph that is in a hyperfunction, and sometimes we come across with some of the data set that are labeled also, that will be not in considered in between x and y. Suppose when we put in both the aggregate function with an example, but they differ some values that are assigned to x and y, that value will be lie above or less than to the graph. One more method, next, learning by taking advice. Now what is learning by taking an advice? This is the very easiest method. Like in a family, let's say in a common example, when we conduct any kind of function in our home, that our mother used to sit with the family persons. They take advice how many family relatives are coming, what all food stuff that we are going to prepare, what all groceries that are required, what all food items is available with us in the stock. And this is generalized discussion is been done, so that we used to take the advice from our grandparents whenever we used to do some new task. In the same way, this is the most easiest way of learning technique, by which we could be learn the things. In this type of learning, a programmer writes a program and give the general instruction to the computer to perform the task. Once it has been learned, the system is automatically going to give you the result as with the new thing that is included. There are several sources of taking the advice to human expert systems are also developed, whenever a doctor has been doing the treatment to a cancer patient, or like neuropersons are being treated, they undergo with different kind of strategy. However, this type of learning is more necessity of interference to the remote learning. In remote learning, what we are memorizing the things, and after taking the advice, if we are memorizing, and the same intelligent memory or the data is been recorded and stored in the intelligence system, that can be utilized in the future expert as the storage knowledge in knowledge base transfer into an operational form will be ability of the consideration. Now, learning with problem solving techniques. So what happened, human being have the tendency that whenever they come across with the problems, and they through the problem they could acquire many things, many different learning methods. Human have the tendency to learn with the various type of examples in their lifetime. The form representation is exactly same. The problem can be solved with the principle of a reinforcement learning. In what happened in a reinforcement learning, we keep on learning by taking the feedback, and there is a repeated action and reward policies that undergoes, and in every stage we keep learning, and the percentage of the learning factor keep on increasing. There are several issues which includes the identification of the learning rate also, time, algorithm, complexity, covariance representation, frames of qualification, handling the uncertainty, and adaptability is also required. So these are the certain terminology comes under the part of problem solving technique. We have a life cycle, a problem solving. Problem scenario is initially been discussed. Then from the problem solving technique, we identify what are the key fact that the problem is been existing. From the key fact, we will be doing the brainstorming. What all the missing parameters are there. From that, we will be doing the brainstorming, how to solve, what all strategy that we need to implement. Then self-directed learning strategy has been carried out. Before solving the problem, we need to analyze the problem in a very good manner. Then we'll be applying to the information part, and finally we'll be analyze the result, and this cycle will be complete when the problem has been solved out, and we keep on learning in every phases of the cycle. Now next example method is that explanation based learning. Now what is explanation based learning? Explanation based learning is an idea of simple learning technique. This learning is usually required a sustainable number of training instances, but there are two different strategies there. It is difficult to have such a number of training instances. Sometimes it helps to learn the things effectively, especially when we have enough knowledge of that particular doing that job. However, it is clear that instance based learning and that will be more data driven type. Let's have a diagram for this. when we say explanation based learning, if we go down with the domain theory of that particular problem. Once the domain theory is been cleared out, then the goal or concept and the training example is been given down, because human being learns a lot with the help of an example. In the same way, the machine is also use the result of one or two example to solve the next query or the next problem. This is how the explanation based algorithm learning method is used. There are several applications possible in order to acquire the actualization of this knowledge based method, and this strategy can be implemented to increase the efficiency of an intelligent system, because a machine or intelligent system will be work more effectively the way that is undergo with the learning parameter. So this is all about today's lecture. So in this contradictory part, the most important questions in many university exams that comes under: what are the learning methods, types of learning, supervised and unsupervised difference, and the short notes that comes in a part of reinforcement learning, a case study how the algorithm that can be implemented to design a knowledge based system. So thank you so much for viewing this video. Thank you.